So what's up next? Well, what I have here are a pair of Nagas. So what I'll do is, let me just hack them open. If they look the same on the inside. Alright, so this one looks and smells very much like a Naga. And this one looks and smells very much like a Naga. But they do smell a little different. This one is more pungent. This one, the flavour, the odour isn't quite as strong. So I guess the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And give you a minute to set up, and that's what I'll do. Compare them. Let's go with Romy 6's Naga, some sort of Naga, which looks like a Naga Morich. This is a pod. You've seen it all before. Oh, it's quite sweet. I like the smell. It's a very watered down Naga flavour. There's a little bit of heat up front, but not much, not yet anyway. So not much flavour on that one really. It started off a little sweet, a little bit of the typical Naga flavour, and here comes the heat, and it's quite hot. That one's primarily gone to the back of my throat. Very little heat in my mouth, but my throat's stinging like crazy. Yeah, that's really all I can describe the taste as, just watered down Naga flavour, but sweet. And the heat is, well, there's plenty of it. Let's just wait for it to come on a bit. But right now we're in the sort of probably Cardi Yellow Scorpion level. Really very similar to that red Moruga, but without the good flavour of the red Moruga. Yeah, I would say it's about the similar kind of heat, but it's all in the back of my throat, a little bit on the back of my tongue, but not much. It's a different burn to the Moruga. It's a more aggressive burn. It's not the really nice mellow burn. I know that sounds dumb, but mellow. There's a very mellow burn with that red Moruga. This one's much more aggressive. It's probably a little bit more pain involved than there is heat, whereas the Moruga was all heat and very little pain. It's now settled onto the top of my tongue and the top of my roof, and has stopped hurting in the back of my throat completely. Yeah, it's all in the tongue, back of the tongue, top of the mouth, roof of the mouth. But it's going away pretty much as quickly as it came on. It's already peaked. Every time I swallow, it's making lots of drool. Every time I swallow, it actually brings the heat back up for a second, and then it dampens down again. which is kind of interesting. Yeah, it's definitely fading away. Can't really taste anything in my mouth. There's nothing very interesting going on. Thanks a lot, Jamie, for sending me that. It's great to try all of these things, and not all of them are going to be hits. And that one is average. Yeah, it smells like a dilute Naga, tastes like a dilute Naga, doesn't quite look like a Naga. But in a pinch, any port in a storm. So if you haven't got anything else, those would be great. So we'll get to see. I'll just give that a few minutes to dampen down a bit more, and then we'll try the other Naga and see how that one goes. I suspect that's going to be full-on pain and much more flavour, just from the smell. So we shall see. I'll be back in a minute. So here's another one of our feathered friends. Come here. This one's called Cheapers, because when he was this big, he used to cheep a lot to try and get food away from his sister. Didn't you? So he's one of the ones that our pairs had, and we took him from the nest when he was literally that big. So we let the parents feed him for the first few days, and then we hand fed him until it became so unruly we thought we'd better keep him. Isn't that right, big fella? What do you think? Oh. He's also one of the very best talking birds I've ever come across, and I'm sure throughout the whole of this he'll say nothing, because he's kind of like that. But let's hope he cheers up a bit and gives a bit of an entertaining show for you. Come on, what are you going to say to yourself? Alright, so we're back onto Nagas. This is the second one from Mike, smiley guy. Let's see what this one's like. So much more flavour. It's also quite sweet. I don't know what that's from. It's immediately hot. There's a little bit of bitterness to it, to that one. Much more flavour. It's one Naga flavour, but it's finished with an amount of bitterness that the other one didn't have. In terms of heat, I wouldn't say there's much in it so far. This one, again, has gone to the back of my throat straight away. And it's starting to build in the back of my throat, just like the first one did. Now I'm starting to get the sort of greener undertones. What are you doing? But yeah, that's back of the throat again. Yeah, that's again, it's causing lots of drool, which is when you swallow, it's quite painful. So the heat profile is very similar. It's coming onto my tongue now, just like the other one did. And again, there's more pain involved in that than there is heat. The red Moruga that I had, again, was much smoother heat. This is more pain. When I swallow, it hurts, and there's pain on my tongue. Now, I'm not talking about Matt Ball's 7 pain. That was very painful, but this is quite painful. Actually, I'd say it's more painful than the first one. How lovely. What do you think, Cheapers? What do you think? Yes, you crazy parrot. So I wouldn't say it was any hotter, but I would say it was a bit more painful. Yeah, now it's really starting to come on in the back of my throat. Yeah, and that does hurt a lot when I swallow. It's very causing a lot of drool. Now this one I can still taste. The flavour's still there. Still quite nice. And this one's building a little bit more than the other one did, so ultimately I think it is going to be a bit hotter. But it's certainly painful. Oh. Yeah, so that's a lot more painful than the first one. I would say it's hotter too now, but it's taking this long to get there. Whereas at this point the other one was starting to dive down. This one's still on the way up. I'm crying and sweating at the same time. So it's causing a bigger reaction in me, much bigger reaction. Both heat and pain, but with sweating and crying and general unpleasantness. Hello. So it's just about peaked, I think. Yeah, it's just about peaked. It's not quite so painful to swallow. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I don't know, Cheapers. Come on, you have to enunciate. Come on, you can do better than that. So yeah, I'm getting much bigger reaction now. Absolutely dripping. There's rivulets of sweat running down my face. My throat's still sore, my tongue's sore. I've also got, there's a good burn going too, but it is more pain than anything. Well, that's caused quite a big reaction, that's nice. It's a nice one, Mike. Thanks for sending it. It's definitely on the way down now. Most of the heat's just on the top of my tongue, and then there's still a little bit of pain in the back of my throat, but not so much. Again, like the other one, it fades, and then when you swallow all the drool that it causes, you get a big upwell in heat and pain. It lasts about 2 seconds, and then it damps down again, and you try and think, God, I don't want to do that anymore. So yeah, it's quite a good one. You've got the sneezes today, haven't you? What's going on? I'm surprised he's sat still this long. He's let's say rambunctious. Leave it at that. Isn't that right? Are you rambunctious? Oh, so it's goodbye from Nigel, and it's goodbye from Cheapers. Can you say goodbye? Bye. No, not hi, beauty. Yeah, what are you saying? Oh, go on. What are you talking about? Well, come on. What else have you got to say? Hello, guy. Yeah, same to you. Okay, we're going to take off.